Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Wednesday, June 7th, 2023 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is the universe is always sharing its secrets with me. All I need to do is listen. And so many messages coming through. I guess I've been listening. Interesting astro today. We have moon moving into Aquarius. And as the moon moves into Aquarius, it is going to be squaring the nodes, opposing Venus, opposing Mars, conjunct Pluto, wreaking a little havoc. Actually, we've got a havoc-y moon coming in. It's so interesting because I feel like this moon in Aquarius is going to be shining forth our hidden vibrational natures. So, I don't know if you've noticed with this increase of Leo energy that we've got going on, with now Venus and Mars in Leo, Lilith occasionally. Lilith is currently in Cancer, but, diving in and out, and Pallas also in Leo. I have been noticing the projection of the state of the inner child. And again, I feel like this is in part preparing us for the Venus retrograde. But have you noticed how people are showing up? I have been noticing how people are showing up. And it really is a projection of the state of the inner child. So, remember it? Okay, this came up like last week, I think, too. But I didn't speak it last week, but it came up in a conversation I was having. Do you remember? Gosh, I don't know. I think this was the late 90s or early 2000s. There was like the little bunny, and it said, "Mean people suck." I'm feeling that so much in the world right now. Because so many people are running around with super wounded, painful inner children who are running the show, that the adults that they're showing up as, for sure, all of this, the adults they're showing up as, have no chance of actually even being conscious of what is going on and how it's unfolding. I think we see that in how so many in the world right now are just willing to follow some narratives into really dark places, because somebody in authority, which is what we're taught as children, has made it so. I am seeing very wounded egos running around, in control, and the remedy for all of this is recognizing in these mirrors ourselves, our own wounds, our own projections, and where we are falling short of being heart-centered. I've been in love with the band Wookiefoot lately. And I don't even know what the song was, but there was a line in it. Peace is not a destination. It's how we live. Might be me paraphrasing. Peace comes from heart-centered energy. Heart-centered, soul-centered. In balance, I would say. To bring about peace in this world, peace in our lives, we must absolutely be connected to the heart. And we must be aware of all of those wild inner children, whether they're acting like the flying monkeys or otherwise, and work with them. Be willing to work with those places. Be willing to see the ugliness that comes up at times. We all have times where we'll show up as ugly, whether it's outward or inward. We all have those times. And I feel like it just feels like this transit, this Venus transit, is so huge in helping us get in there, nurture those inner children, and shift these places. So, the moon in Aquarius is going to be like blasting these vibes out. So your vibes are going to be blasting, and you're going to feel a little bit blasted by these other vibes as it conjuncts Pluto, opposes Venus, squares Jupiter, and then opposes Mars. So this is a lot of push and pull and tug of war, and I think that when we're in resistance, that's a lot of what we do. The push and pull and tug of war and like bargaining, all of that, right? And so recognize that in the astro today. Peeps will most likely show you some of their crankiness, especially when they're hangry. So watch out for the hangry ones. Watch yourself. If you are hangry, feed yourself. Give yourself nourishment. Nourishment is good. Maybe you're hangry for a hug. Hug yourself. There's a lot of places where we can get hangry beyond food, right? But yeah, this energy is really interesting. Squaring the nodes, you may see people reverting into their fears rather than their values. My hope is that everybody who connects with me has a very high value of love. Like that is my soul mission, is love. That is why I show up every day, because I love you and I love me, and this is where I'm meant to be. So moon opposite Mars. Now that's going to be in the evening. Oof. If in the evening you find your crankiness ramping up, give yourself a timeout, not because you're in trouble, but because clearly you need a little quality time with yourself to sort through these energies, to recognize what you need, be able to take that action and show up for what you need. And spend a little time with your heart. Spend a little time connecting to joy. What feels joyful for you? We always have that ability. Whether you look up something that makes you laugh, something that makes you smile, the way doesn't matter. Find your way to that joy, if only incrementally. But watch for that evening. It's about 7:11 p.m. Pacific time, so that's 10:11 East Coast. But you may feel that build up. So watch for that. Let's look at these cards. Oof. We got some mental games going on right here. Okay? Sorrow and guilt. It's not necessarily those words. It's just the lack of consciousness where we are stirring in the mind games, the mental stories that do not serve. And yet, as we pay attention to them, we realize the secrets the universe has for us, even in the worst feeling thoughts, right? So peeling through the layers with awareness. And where does that bring us to? Possibility. Pure potentiality, pure possibility, because these feelings, these things, they're just signs, they're deeper symbols, they are needs to be met. All of these things are energies to be met rather than pushed aside. Meet these places of yourself. Love on these places within yourself. This is where quantum leaps within yourself can happen. And the astro is pushing us to a quantum leap for sure. I was thinking about this. I have people all the time ask me, like, when is it going to get better? Well, the better it gets, right? I think that the heat is going to keep getting turned up until we're so sick of avoiding it that we absolutely have to face those pieces of ourselves. But we don't have to have the heat turned up. We can do that now. The awareness is now. Will everybody around us? No, that's okay. They can do it on their own time. But your life will shift as you do that. And that's what it's about. So that's it for today. You can book a reading. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Besides that, the better gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power. Honor your values, and please let honoring your curiosity, being curious about the process, be a high value for you. Namaste.